You're sitting across from her at dinner. Same restaurant. Same conversation. Same two people who used to feel electric together. And she's talking. Not yelling. Not attacking. Just talking. But something in her voice feels tired now. You nod. You say, "Yeah." You even try to stay engaged. And somehow, she still looks disappointed. Then the silence hits. Not the peaceful kind, the heavy kind. The kind where two people are technically together, but emotionally miles apart. And your brain starts spiraling. Why does it feel like nothing I do is enough? Why does she still feel distant? Why do small conversations turn tense so fast? Am I missing something obvious? Why does it feel like she wants something I can't explain? Here's the truth almost nobody tells men. Women don't emotionally melt because of grand gestures. Not flowers, not perfect texts, not expensive dates. They melt when they feel emotionally felt. Because the deepest form of attraction is not performance, it's presence. And bro, most men were never taught that. You're not failing at love. You're not bad at relationships. Most couples spend years trying to solve emotional disconnection with logic, efficiency, or effort, while completely missing the one thing the nervous system is actually craving. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand the masculine gesture that instantly changes how a woman feels around you, why it creates emotional safety almost immediately, and how using it consistently can completely shift the emotional tone of your relationship. Let's get into it. Most couples believe attraction fades because people stop trying. But the real truth is deeper than that. Attraction usually fades because emotional safety slowly disappears beneath the surface. And when safety disappears, people stop relaxing around each other. They become careful, guarded, defensive, withdrawn. Here's the part most people never understand. Your partner's nervous system is reading you before her mind can even process your words. She feels your impatience, your distraction, your emotional absence, even when you technically said all the right things. Because connection is not built through perfect communication. It's built through emotional attunement, through feeling emotionally accompanied. Most men think being a good partner means solving problems, providing solutions, fixing tension quickly. But here's what nobody explains. A woman often feels closest to a man not when he fixes her emotions, but when he can stay emotionally present inside them without shutting down, becoming defensive, or trying to escape discomfort. That's why so many couples drift. Not because love vanished, but because one or both people stopped feeling emotionally reached. And the masculine gesture almost no man uses anymore is the ability to fully stay. Not fixing, not correcting, not explaining, not defending. Staying. Emotionally, nervously, relationally. And once you understand this, everything about connection starts making more sense. Here's the part no one talks about. Most couples believe emotional support means finding the perfect advice. But most women are not secretly thinking, "I wish he would solve this faster." They're thinking, "I wish he would stay connected to me while I'm struggling." That's the real longing beneath the surface. Because when someone is emotional, their nervous system is not searching for correction first. It's searching for safety. And most men accidentally abandon the emotional moment without realizing it. She says, "I've just been overwhelmed lately." And immediately he responds, "Well, maybe you should stop overcommitting yourself." Logical? Sure. Connecting? Not even close. Because her brain quietly registers, "He left me emotionally and moved into fixing mode." Now compare that to this. I can tell this has been heavy for you. Come here. You don't have to carry it alone. Same moment, completely different emotional outcome. And here's what changes everything. This isn't about becoming passive, not avoiding solutions, not pretending problems don't matter. It's about understanding sequence. Connection first, solutions second. Because when a woman feels emotionally accompanied, her walls stop bracing for impact. And when you do that, she stops feeling emotionally alone inside the relationship. And this is the one most couples never figure out. Most people in relationships listen while preparing their response. Not because they're selfish, because they're anxious. Their nervous system is trying to protect them from blame, conflict, rejection, or inadequacy. So instead of truly hearing each other, couples start reacting to their own internal fears. But here's what nobody explains. One of the most masculine things you can do is pause before reacting. Not cold silence, not emotional shutdown. Intentional presence. Because that pause communicates something powerful. I'm not here to win against you. I'm here to understand you. Bro, that changes everything. Imagine she says, I feel like you've been distant lately. Most men instantly defend themselves. I've just been busy. That's not fair. I'm doing my best. But the connecting version sounds different. Pause. Eye contact. Then, I didn't realize you were feeling alone with me lately. Tell me more. Do you hear the difference? One response protects ego. The other protects connection. And somewhere inside her, something softens. He actually stayed open. That's the moment emotional safety starts rebuilding. Like scar tissue finally loosening after years of tension. And that's the shift that turns conversations from emotional combat into emotional repair. This is where it gets really interesting. Most couples think communication is about exchanging information clearly. But emotionally healthy relationships are not built on information. They're built on resonance. Feeling understood. Feeling emotionally located by another person. Because honestly, man, people can survive misunderstanding for a while, but they slowly break under chronic emotional invisibility. And here's what changes everything. When she shares something emotional, don't immediately explain your intention. Reflect her experience first. Not louder conversations, not more explaining, not trying harder to prove you're a good guy, but making her feel emotionally felt. She says, when you were on your phone the whole night, I felt ignored. Most men answer with intention. I wasn't ignoring you, I was answering work messages. But her nervous system hears, your emotional experience is being corrected. Now watch the connecting version. I can see why that hurt. You wanted to feel close to me tonight. That's it. Simple, real, present. And her internal world quietly says, he finally understands what I was actually trying to say. That's why this gesture melts women, because emotional attunement feels rare now. And when you consistently make her feel emotionally understood, the walls between you start coming down without either of you forcing them to. Here's the mistake most couples make without realizing it. They treat emotions like problems to eliminate quickly. But emotions are not interruptions to connection. They are the doorway to connection. Most men become uncomfortable when a woman stays emotional for too long, not because they don't care, because their nervous system feels helpless, and helplessness often turns into impatience. You'll hear things like, "You're overthinking. Can we just move on? You're making this bigger than it is." But here's what nobody explains. A rushed emotion becomes a repeated emotion because the nervous system keeps bringing back what never felt fully received. It's like trying to silence a smoke detector while the fire is still burning beneath the surface. Now compare the energy. Disconnecting version. You're still upset about this? Connecting version. I know this is still sitting with you. I'm here. One creates pressure. The other creates safety. And when she stops feeling emotionally rushed, she starts feeling emotionally safe enough to soften again. That's when repair becomes possible. Real repair. And this might be the most important one. Most couples think masculinity means emotional control at all times. Never shaken, never uncertain, never vulnerable. But emotionally unavailable men do not create safety. They create emotional guessing games. Because when she cannot feel you, she cannot fully relax with you. Now listen carefully. Vulnerability is not emotional dumping, not collapsing, not making her carry you. Real masculine vulnerability is calm honesty. It's saying, I've been stressed and pulling inward lately. I didn't realize how disconnected I'd become. I miss us too. Bro, that lands deeply. Because her nervous system finally stops working overtime, trying to read hidden emotional signals. And here's the part most people miss. Women don't melt because a man becomes perfect. They melt because he becomes emotionally real. Because authenticity creates intimacy faster than performance ever will. And somewhere inside her, the unspoken thought becomes, I don't have to fight so hard to reach him anymore. That's when your relationship stops feeling like two exhausted people protecting themselves, and starts feeling like two people turning toward each other again. This isn't a communication trick. It's not a dating hack, not manipulation, not saying the right lines. This is about becoming the kind of man whose presence makes another human being feel emotionally safe. And when you internalize that, you stop reacting from ego and start responding from connection. You stop trying to win moments and start protecting the emotional space between you. Because the masculine gesture that melts women instantly isn't dominance, it isn't perfection, it isn't performance. It's emotional presence. Consistent, grounded, real. And when a woman feels that from you, her nervous system relaxes in ways words can barely explain. That's when she stops bracing against you and starts leaning toward you again. Because real intimacy doesn't begin when someone finally understands you perfectly. It begins the moment they stop trying to escape your emotions and choose to stay beside you inside them instead.